going back outside
I gotta
to
level up.
and showing, talking to the dandelion and the bee and Gleam, and basically telling them that Endel Moongrave is no more, that you have ended the bitter end. That he offers to take you to show you the way to the Palace of Heart's Desires, the seat of Zabildna's power, and he rides on your
Lily pad.
lily pad and shows you the way.
Excellent.
Cool.
And you guys,
Oh, I was gonna ask. Can we have a second to level up?
yeah, that's what That's what I'm doing. I'm introducing this while you guys are leveling up. You should be leveling up, Raz.
I am doing that. I have to choose spells. Why are you like this?
Why are you not going faster?
Because I have so many goddamn spells.
You're a warlock. You have like 4 spells.
I get 2 actually.
Do I just take the 2 in strength, or do I do something wacky in the last leg of the
I
campaign?
specifically just raised my charisma by 2 because I didn't want to look at feats. I don't have any time.
Yeah, I just increased my wisdom by 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that too.
I'm not sure if I can wear socks as a
I
rabbit.
am not increasing my wisdom by 2.
Yeah, don't do that.
I think rabbit feet would require some kind of booties instead of socks.
Right. I'm
Listen,
assuming
we
that
went through this in
Harengons are like
Morrowind.
hobbits. They don't wear shoes.
We went through this in Morrowind. You just can't equip shoes. Because Argonians couldn't wear boots in Morrowind.
Anyway, is everybody ready for this?
Yep. Uh-oh.
And this is what you
All
see.
black.
As
Oh.
you-
Hello.
Oh, it's like half of the dungeon because this is lower. Great.
This is the final dungeon. This place is pretty big. It is also like is a thing that I'm going to. It's also a thing you're going to hear me complain about like as we end this, because I don't think this dungeon is very well designed.
Also, the squares are 10 feet, so you're gonna have to debigulate yourselves.
That's not a great. You know, we'll just take this. This could be fun.
You guys are a twilight palace emerges dreamlike from the clouds. A great marble tower ringed by delicate spires casts its shadows over the rooftops below. Another tower teeters nearby, torn from its foundations and held aloft by a coiled beanstalk. Monstrous vines cling to the palace walls and choke the promontory of rock on which it perches. From the palace, you can turn around and gaze upon the whole of Prismere. And you guys can just see the whole thing. You can see how it fits together and everything. And there is a map for Hither, Thither, and Yon, which I'm not going to show you because we ain't got time.
Is this Aslan
you're-
watching over us in the corner?
We'll get to that in a minute. As you survey the surroundings and go over where you've been on your journey across Hither, Thither, and Yon, you see hundreds of birds burst from the canopy of an ancient forest below you and scatter in all directions. Moments later, a much more fearsome creature erupts from the woods, a sinewy, pale green dragon that takes to the sky and flies towards the palace. Its mighty wings carry it to great heights. Once above the palace, it drops like a stone and vanishes from sight behind the high walls. And the best way to describe this dragon is a large green dragon, but its face doesn't look good. And let me show you actually what you see.
Oh no, Crater!
Oh my god, what's wrong with your face?
Oh no, Craterfall grew up and wants revenge.
No. Nothing like that, thankfully.
Is this like Burley's costume?
No.
Hey,
This-
Burley was fabulous.
I see a white card. Okay.
Oh. Ugh.
This is the dragonoid creature that you see.
I don't like it.
No. No.
That's all a mother could love.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like it. No, it's
Not
very...
a fan.
I think the part that I don't like is its face.
its face. and how it's
Is that
attached.
an eye or like a shaved horn?
Just a hole.
What's wrong with your face?
So, Amador the dandelion tells you before he bids you adieu. He tells you he gives you a couple of pieces of information about this place. That dragon that you saw is the Jabberwock. It is Zabilda's pet.
Did
He
she do that
cautions
to
you,
its face?
huh?
Did she do that to its face?
He shrugs at you with his little dandelion shoulders and says he doesn't know, but he knows that only the bravest and hardiest adventurers stand a chance against surviving an encounter. Stand a chance of surviving an encounter with it. He warns you there were magical wards throughout the palace, placed by Zabelna, and he imagines that the Hourglass Coven has placed traps of their own, and that currently the League of Malevolence is in control of the palace. And at this point, he tells you how many. At this point, 3 of the members, like if you explain to him like who you've met, there are 3 members that you have are unaccounted for. And then he sketches a bow and proceeds to walk down this highway back towards Yon.
Thank you.
And you are at a gate that is closed, and you cannot see through the gate. It's a little hazy.
All right, let's get this party started.
I'd like to try and open the gate.
And it slides open. And inside you see nothing because my revealer's not working.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Well, I guess it's the end of the
Guess we'll-
campaign.
guess
Good night,
we'll go
everybody.
I mean, we did have the option of going home.
Hey, who took that ring?
I suggested that you take it.
I
'Cause you did
will
say-
if nobody has any complaints.
I
You
think it
see
does
a
require attunement.
massive garden.
Yeah, it does take attunement, but you should be able to add it to your character sheet on Beyond.
You could have attuned it as part
We'll
of
attune it already. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you guys have like basically as much time as you needed to take to be prepared before you came here. So
Yeah, we got to level up. So
That is one hell of a garden.
Zabilna's garden.
Wait, if we're saving Sibilna, and do we really need to fight her pet?
I'm assuming it's being controlled by the League of Malevolence because they're called the League of Malevolence.
Yes.
Or
I
it's
was
just a giant dragon that doesn't have anybody to tell it not to go around eating people because she is trapped in time.
It is green. Green dragons are bad.
Okay, so you're at the you're currently at the front gate, and as you walk into the palace garden, the scent of roses, cowslips, and hansis. I don't actually know how to say that. Various flowers suffuse this vast garden. Ahead, a ring of standing stones rises from the flower beds. Glittering streams divide the garden and connect with a large pond shared by willows. The garden is silent, save for the sounds of music and voices coming from a colorful pavilion by the front gate. And the pavilion is up here. You can't quite see it from here because it's 20 foot higher than you. So you can basically see the ramp going up.
What's this here at P3?
P3.
Because that looks like a pavilion on the map.
That might be the
That looks
pavilion.
like
Yeah,
a-
that is the pavilion. I'm sorry. The entrance to this pavilion is open, and you hear music and voices come from inside of it.
Do we want to find out if the voices in the pavilion are friend or foe before we start storming the place?
I would
call.
say yes.
I would like to sneak up to the pavilion and spend a few minutes just listening and see if I can make out what's being said or laughed about inside.
You can't really. You just hear like the low murmuring of conversation. If you make me an active perception check, you might hear more.
Yeah, that's fine. But I've got Boots of
That was-
Elven Kind and a pretty good stealth score, so I'm happy to sneak all the way up next to the pavilion if I have to.
Right.
And if that doesn't work, I can just make a familiar and send them in.
Are we all listening here? Or can
I
we
think
all
we're
hear
staying
this?
back, letting Fitzbiggin, who's
Sorry, I've been
cover
typing
this.
everything into the document here.
That's going to be a 17 on perception.
You hear, roll me a D6. Plus 1.
6, that's the
Yeah.
worst D.
D6 plus 1.
5.
Okay, so you make out 5 distinct voices. You think there could be more, there could be less, but you're pretty sure there's at least 5 people in there. And they are just talking. It's just party talk. Small talk. Nobody is plotting the overthrowing of anything. It's just party talk.
Okay. Do we go inside and just like act like we belong there?
well, it could hurt. It could hurt very, very much, but
I mean, you might take a peek just to see what kind of creatures are in there first before we
yeah.
Can I peek
engage in conversation.
Can I peek inside?
You certainly can. When you look inside, you see 7 guests. One of them, a talking bear, lounge around a picnic table covered with an emerald green cloth and
I'm
laden
sorry,
with
a picnic table or a picnic table?
a picnic table covered with emerald green cloth and laden with cakes, teapots, teacups, and cutlery. 2 of the guests are motionless and silent, but the others are engaged in spirited conversation. At the back of the pavilion, a string quartet of badger minstrels plays delicate chamber music.
You didn't say badger minstrel, surely.
He sure did.
Did I
exactly what he
stutter?
Oh my goodness.
He sure did.
So it's like the the country bear jamboree in there. All right.
Country,
Yeah.
Country badger jamboree.
Sneak back to the party and report. I think if we just sneak in and act like we belong there, I don't think we'll raise any immediate suspicion. I get the sense that they're just chilling.
Just
don't even know if
immediately
they're
walk in and
enemies.
go eat.
We may try and get a little bit more information.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's
Yeah, let's go inside.
I'm down to clown.
So you guys walk in the pavilion and you immediately get several hearty hellos.
Leonardo brings a bottle of wine and starts pouring glasses for whoever wants one.
I mean, they'll accept the wine.
Yeah, there you go.
Fine elven vintage that you seem to have,
Yeah.
but they don't seem to think your presence here is strange. One of them, a man who introduces himself as Sumai, who is carrying a pumpkin that can best be described as a jack-o'-lantern, a living jack-o'-lantern with teeth, carrying it in his hands. Ask you if you're here to see Zybilna, since you're in her waiting pavilion.
In a sense, yes.
He says, yeah, we've been waiting a while, but Zybilna is a busy archfey. Talking to everybody here, and they all introduce themselves, but talking to everyone here, you get the sense that they again, this is just her waiting pavilion, like where guests wait until they're summoned, but they all have a really good opinion of Zybilna. They kind of view her as your standard like happy endings fairy godmother.
How long have you been waiting here to see her?
I don't know, a week or two. And then
Is that
he looks a
normal?
little confused. He says, "Well, it doesn't really matter. I want," and he holds up this little pumpkin. He says, "This little guy," and he says, "Say hello, Yamzu," and the pumpkin barks at you like a dog. He says he
Kind of adorable, not gonna lie.
he wants Yamzu to stop devouring his livestock, but he doesn't actually want to hurt the pumpkin. So he came to Zybilna to see if maybe she had a solution for him.
So these people don't seem to know that Zybilna has been deposed.
They do not.
Okay.
Other people waiting, one introduces himself as Lord Eld, who is a faultlessly polite aristocrat from the world of Earth. He was transformed into a living statue by wild magic, and he has come to seek Zybilna's aid and having that undone.
Before, guys.
Talking to these people, do we get the sense that they are helpful or capable in any capacity to do anything, really?
Uh,
Other than eat and drink and be merry.
Pretty much, they have so you also have Obadal Ob, a headless dwarf, who is also from Earth, and he's searching for his missing head.
So no.
He
Next-
can't
next.
speak. He actually can't speak,
That's
but he can hear you.
that's a
and he-
comfort considering the alternative.
Yeah, Bodger, a brown bear from Eberron, who was cursed to be an awakened bear because he he was cursed by a cruel river spirit who resented him eating the fish from it, and he wants to go back to being just a bear.
I think I follow that
you
guy on
and me,
Twitter.
You and me both. You and me both.
You know what? I think this place just being like a party tent is them being useful.
Yeah,
Because
no,
we can retreat back here later and take a rest if need be.
yeah.
And the last,
Leonardo will not make any mention of Zybilna's current state.
Hmm.
I would agree with that.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
yeah, the last talkative member of the party introduces himself. It's a female human named Majira Devalsi, and she is also from Eberron, and she has a magic living quill she introduces as Dictato. The quill scrawls out anything that Majira says, and she doesn't speak. But reading her parchment, you basically come to the conclusion that she's here hoping to get help to break the terms of an arranged marriage she objects to.
Leonardo reads the scroll and it says, "I see you were trying to write a letter. Would you like help?" And then he just shrugs and like walks away slowly.
Can I summon Clippy with Find Familiar?
No, because the bard would try to have sex with Clippy.
Oh no.
What? Where did that go? What?
Wait, what?
Hey,
Bard listen, a bard would appear and try to have sex with Clippy. That's just the rules. I'm sorry.
Trouble,
I
I've seen
don't-
many corners of the internet, but that one's novel and new to me.
You've never seen the Clippy pornography?
No.
No!
You
Listen,
know,
McDohl and I are shocked, and that should tell you something.
I'm gonna back that one off a little bit because that went somewhere I wasn't meaning for it to go. But
I think Treble just revealed something about himself.
Jesus Christ, dude.
yes, I'm a connoisseur of fine Clippy erotic.
What other like stationary and office
Look.
supplies have you had sex with?
So anyway, in the back of the tent, there are
Just
two
stop.
other guests who are being quiet. They're
Oh,
watching
dodging
you.
the question, I see.
well, I'm going
Sorry,
to
I had to.
Treble. I'm just going to just stop and just remember Rule 34, and that's all you need to know.
We
Listen,
have to
no,
move
I
on
have
from the Clippy thing. We have to,
Yeah, we-
otherwise we'll
I have
be
to
here
make
all
one
day.
more joke. I have to make one more joke. I'm sorry.
Make your joke.
Gives
and
new
we'll move on.
meaning. This gives new meaning to Milton from Office Space. I believe you have my stapler.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so there's two guests in the back who they seem a lot more dour than the other ones, and after a few minutes of like, if you question them for a few minutes, they will open up and introduce themselves. One of them introduces himself as Hogus Pinsworth. He is a halfling from the world of Tal'Darai, who has come to Zybilna to seek help in paying off some debts he owes, and Zarash, a female orc from the world of Eberron, who was ousted by one of her rivals. No, excuse me, I misread that. The two of them are standing there, and they appear to be trapped in temporal stasis. And none of the other pavilion guests know who they are.
And they can't introduce themselves.
They cannot introduce themselves. However, you guys have the means to break the temporal stasis. This is knowledge that is known to you. You were told that the unicorn horn would do it. You gave away the unicorn horn back to the unicorn, but he gave you a small jewel that he told you would have the same effect.
Do we know if this jewel is multi-use?
He didn't indicate it was single use.
Okay, because if it's a one and done, we don't want to use it on these chumps.
We can at least see if there's any like weird effects with it, and then if it runs out, then we can always go back to the Unicorn Lake.
Take it for a test run before finding out it doesn't work when we get to Sibilna.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
All
Yeah.
right, sounds fair.
So while you guys are debating on whether or not like you should use the magic of this gem on these two jabronis that you do, so because like we don't know if this is one time, like the five guests behind you who aren't frozen time like start having an animated conversation about whether clotted cream should be applied to a scone before or after the jam.
Apparently, Leonardo has the crystal horn, so yeah, he will use this.
I don't have an opinion on this clotted cream debate.
Leonardo isn't paying attention to that at all.
Listen, this debate is so important. They mention it in the notes of this module. I just want everybody to know.
I believe you.
Yeah.
How many hats do they have?
Oh, to go there, dang it!
I apparently have the gem on Leonardo, so Leonardo will just tap it against the halfling and then the orc.
When you do so, the orc kind of... So currently the best way to describe them is no color, black and white, kind of frozen in space. And when you do it, all the color comes back to the orc and starts moving. And then she immediately rears back and does a 18 hit, Leonardo.
Yes.
Okay, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. She just decks you square in the eye reflexively.
Leonardo disappears
As this orc just is very
Surprised?
Yeah, it's very surprised. Doesn't know what's going on.
Go for
Leonardo vanishes once he's hit. He triggered his Misty Step.
I'll hold up his hand. I'll hold up my hands and say, "Whoa, easy there, friend. We're just trying to make ourselves make friends with the other people waiting.
Mhm.
See Lady Zabilna."
From like the corner of the room, you hear Leonardo's voice, like, "You're not going to do that again, are you?"
And she apologizes and then introduces herself as the previously named orc, Zarash, and explains to you why she's here. She also tells you that she was waiting for Zabilna when she noticed that the hags raided the place, and that's her last memory. And she looks over at the halfling and says, "Oh, he was here with me."
The halfling becomes unfrozen as Leonardo taps against him, but Leonardo doesn't appear just yet. He's currently invisible.
Okay. Well, the halfling basically introduces himself and gives you the same information.
Okay, and then Leonardo will reappear now that the threat of people punching him has passed.
So, like, the orc and the halfling start talking about how the Hourglass Coven they raided the place and attacked it in a very like sudden, very sudden manner.
How recently was that?
They don't know.
Oh no!
Has she apologized
Oh,
for punching my
this is
friend?
these two. Okay.
She did apologize.
Okay.
When the other 5 were not here. They arrived later. At the mention of the Hourglass Coven, the Badger minstrels each chime up and say how like, oh, our bosses, what fine ladies they are. Their names should be sweetness, kindness, and charity for all the good they do. And they just continue to play their songs.
Oh, Belshan was just about to mention that we brought the 3 of them low, but he clams up after hearing that.
Oh, like if everybody gives me a like hearing them say that, give me a everybody give me an insight check.
9.
He's trained in insight. He should know this kind of stuff.
14.
Not be the blurred out. Oh yeah, no, there are mortal enemies.
20.
That's a 20. That's 20.
Everyone except Leonardo, who's too busy kind of still looking around the room, I guess. These badgers, they don't seem evil. They just seem misguided. Like,
I asked
so
them
like
which
any
is which.
badger.
and they said, what sweetness, kindness, and charity? Obviously, and they start arguing amongst them, like, which is which. And they stop the music. They start arguing. They genuinely believe the 3 hags are good people.
Okay. I hope I've ruined their day a little bit. I'm happy to live with that.
Leonardo,
Is there a chance?
you're the first one to notice a wrapped present on the table with your name on it.
Can I insight that? Why would a present be here with my name on it?
It's just like a bright purple with a gold bow, and there is a thing. There's a card on it that says Leonardo and friends.
Leonardo will take it to the party, but he'll say, other than it matching including the fact that it matches my new outfit, this seems oddly out of place. Detect magic.
There's a magical object inside, but the package and the note and none of the other. It's just whatever is inside is magical.
Leonardo shakes it.
You hear a ringing noise.
Like a bell? I will open the box.
I wonder if it's from Titania
You're
or.
not even read the card. How rude of you!
Oh, I didn't realize there was a card. I'm sorry. I would read the card first.
It
Because
says
Mrs. Fitzbiggins would scold me if I didn't.
That's true.
it says
Yeah.
can you read Draconic?
That's a good question. No.
Can any of you read Draconic?
I don't believe so.
I cast comprehend languages.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. Leonardo can read Draconic.
I can read anything.
On the note it says, "Many thanks. May fortune smile upon you. Yours, Sir Talavar."
Oh, it's from Talavar. I open the box.
Inside, you see a hollow metal tube measuring about 1 foot long, weighs about a pound. It's got a chain on one end with a striker. So yeah, like a bell.
I feel like I know what this is, but
And there you go. There is a note inside telling you what it is.
yeah, it's like the chime of something.
Chime of opening.
That's right. Okay.
Oh god, Treble said there you go, and I thought he put another image on the table, so I just instinctively went and altered over it, but it was the goddamn dragon again.
No, it's in the spoiler check. So just so everybody knows, this does not require attunement. You can strike it as an action, pointing it in an object with 120 feet that can be opened. The chime issues a clear tone, and one lock or latch on the object opens, unless the sound can't reach the object. The chime can be used 10 times. After the 10th time, it cracks and becomes useless.
Who would like this?
How loud is the chime?
Just says within 120 feet, I think.
It's like the knock spell, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like super loud.
Yeah.
So it won't be much use, like, sneak, because I think I'm the sneakiest one. I'm the one most liable to, like, sneak forward and have to get through a locked door, but this would not help with that sort of endeavor.
Right.
I would give it to Turvum or Belshan in that case.
I would also give it to Turvum, I think, because
Yeah.
he's had our master
Alright.
key since the first session.
Is that a chip on my axe? Oh, I better quit smashing cages with it.
Yeah. There you go, Turvum. Have the chime of opening.
Can you guys see these stairs over here?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Kind of, yeah.
Because you guys can basically like see the entire garden here. It's not. We're not going to like hex crawl the garden.
Oh goodness, that would take a long time, actually.
I asked the badgers that if I wanted to meet with the bosses, just to pay my respects, how would I go to do so?
Well, you wait here and wait for them to call you. Of course, please enjoy the complimentary food and drinks as we continue our musical number. And they strike up the band. The band strikes up again.
Can we explore around a little bit? We want to take in the views.
They
Yeah,
tell
it's a
you
beautiful
that
garden. Sorry.
they tell you that they don't mind that you you go across the garden, but they do recommend that you stay in the tent because there are dangerous. This is a dangerous part of the Feywild, and they cannot guarantee your safety outside. Please enjoy some of the tea and cakes. They are replenished hourly.
Leonardo asks, what parts of the garden are particularly dangerous and that we should stay out of?
Everywhere that's not the pavilion.
Can you be more specific?
Everywhere that's not the
He
pavilion.
was. I think he was.
If we leave the tent, we've upset this person.
These badgers, yeah. They don't want you to leave the tent. But like you get the sense from like it's not that they're genuinely worried that you'll get hurt. Like they've been given a job of ensuring the safety and comfort and to entertain the people in this pavilion until the people are called for whatever reason.
Oh, I'm sure that you won't mind if we just step out to get a breath of fresh air.
Like they're not going to stop you. They can't stop you. They're badgers. They're not even
I don't know
giant
if you
badgers.
have you ever met a badger? Badgers are freaking fierce creatures.
They're badgers and you're 8th level adventurers.
Oh yeah, they don't stand a chance, but
Also, they don't have a violent bone in their body. They are legitimately happy intelligent animals who are playing like violins and basses and just various band instruments.
That's impressive on its face.
All strings though. It's they don't have lips, so they no horns.
I was gonna say a badger playing like a flute would be that'd be a sight to behold.
So anyway, what's next?
Does
Leaving.
does somebody bring the refreshments every hour, or do they just appear?
One of the guests will tell you they just magically appear.
Okay,
Cracks.
It's magically replenished every hour.
that's what I anticipated. But anyway,
Well, considering that Leonardo has not eaten this entire adventure, he will eat.
so
some
What you've
cake.
eaten on your short rests and long rests?
I assume there's like foraging, but
I
So
I
I
can't
will
wait to get
I will
home and eat
point
a
out-
carrot.
I will point out that I think this is the only adventure currently printed that's outside of like the Adventurer's Guide to Wildmont, like the actual Critical Role stuff. That this is the only adventure that has an NPC from the Critical Role world in it so far.
What's his face? The evil dragonborn guy is in another one.
Oh, okay, the one that stole the hand of Vecna.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Joel Maglianotti. Yeah, he's in another
Yeah.
one.
So, I'll try and keep it hush between the other like 5 guests who don't know, but I will inform the orc and the halfling what we know, what's happened.
Well, they thank you for the heads up on what's going on, but they have no intention of helping you. One of
Sure.
them is literally a commoner, and the other one doesn't like dwarves.
Well, wow, yeah. Well, fine.
It's very rude. I mean, how do we learn that information? Does he just say, I don't like dwarves?
The orc tells you that she doesn't trust dwarves.
Wow.
Yeah, it's racism. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Oh, very well then.
She sounds like the
wasn't-
stereotypical orc that's chaotic evil.
I wasn't asking for your assistance. I was just trying to be courteous.
She's actually chaotic good.
No, she's chaotic evil, I've decided. A
You
good
don't
aligned
get to
character
make
wouldn't be
that decision.
racist.
That's not true at all.
And I courteously say good luck to the halfling and kind of sneer a goodbye to the orc and make my way out of the tent.
And all she's thinking is, that's why I don't like dwarves, because they always do that.
She started it.
Yep.
Do we check out Stonehenge here before moving
So
on?
as you guys
I
just
think
real
so.
quick, so this P2 right here is just like generic, the overview of the place, the entire garden. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
read a couple of things to you. So as you start to explore the garden, you notice that the features and most of the occupants, and by occupants I mean like small animals and things like that, are frozen in time. You find pixies that are suspended in mid-flight or frozen in mid-frolic. Forest gnome gardeners stand rigidly in flower beds as you walk towards the stones there. Time frozen water issued from their tipped wooden watering cans, or atop small ladders, taking shears to topiaries in need of trimming. Bees and pollen all hang motionless in the air. You also notice that there are fruit trees at several points, many of which are contain glittering gold and silver fruit. Leonardo sees that these all have auras of divination magic around the gold fruit and abjuration magic around the silver fruit.
If Leonardo can reach them because he's short, he'll take one of each just to try and examine them more closely.
I mean, the gold has an aura of divination magic. The silver has an aura of abjuration magic.
Oh, do I have identify? I don't.
One way to potential identify. I'll usually on hands when you die.
I mean, Leonardo thinks that's as good as an idea as any, and takes a bite out of the silver one. Does he gain 50 max hit points?
Nothing happens as you eat the silver skin fruit. You get the feeling that you need to eat more of it for any benefit or.
Oh, he'll eat the
detriment.
whole. He'll eat the whole fruit.
Oh, you eat the whole fruit. Okay.
Yeah. It takes a while. He's small and has a small mouth.
You gain 10 temporary hit points.
Oh, wow! It really does work like Final Fantasy IV. Leonardo will say, "I feel stronger, more resilient. Should I try the other one? I'm quite full."
Never eat when you're already full, Leonardo.
Fine. It's okay. I'll be okay. I'll take the golden fruit and I will eat it.
Okay. First of all, they're delicious. Second of all, Turvum, you have advantage for the next 24 hours on wisdom saving throws.
Yes. Cool.
How many fruits are there here?
There's a few scattered around. Roll me give me an investigation check.
Oh, I'm great at these. Finally, I can use my investigation for something useful. I'm gonna buff that. Uh, 10.
10. Roll me a d4.
Oh, I already have that. Okay. 2.
That's how many other fruits you see.
One of each?
Yeah,
I would
one of
say?
each.
One
Yeah,
of each.
one of each.
Okay, I'm gonna hand Mrs. Fitzbiggins the silvered apple and Belshan the gold apple.
Okay. The silver apple was temp HP?
Temp
Yeah.
HP.
10 temp hit points.
How long does that last? Till we short rest?
Yeah, until you take a rest, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to hold on to the apple, I think.
Okay.
Likewise.
Oh well, the effects of the gold apple last 24 hours. But if you're done, you're going to P4.
Yep.
12 moss-covered stones. Moss-covered standing stones form a ring in the middle of a small clearing. An arcane sigil is inscribed on the inward-facing side of each stone, and the space between the stones is free of vegetation. Leonardo, your magic warlock eyes. What do your warlock eyes see? Well, you see an aura of conjuration magic around the standing stones.
Oh, I don't want to step up next to those. I tell the party that and imagine that this is probably some sort of summoning circle.
Make me an Arcana check.
Well, I'm sure that fails. Hold on. Well, I could. Okay, so we'll try and improve that too. 7.
No, does anybody else want to try and suss out what this is doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
If so, make me an Arcana check.
Do I have to be trained in Arcana?
No.
Oh, I am trained in Arcana. Never mind. 15.
15, right on the money. This is Fitzbiggins. This is a teleportation circle.
So the entire circle made up of stones, like the whole 20-foot structure
Yes,
inside there?
the whole structure. So basically, there are sigils on the stone, and you press the button. They act as basically buttons. You push them in the particular order. It activates, and it becomes a teleportation circle that teleports you to another ring, provided you know the sequence of triggers to go to that particular teleportation circle.
The damn Stargate.
It is a Stargate, yes. I was thinking the exact same thing. I
If
just
we
didn't want to say
knew
it.
of a teleportation circle on the prime material, would this function to get us there?
No.
So it has to be somewhere on the Feywild.
So this is, when I say this is a teleportation circle, this is a teleportation circle, like, you know how you could cast it, like, over and over and over in the same spot,
Yes.
and it becomes permanent? This is a permanent one. So, you can... It's a permanent one that anyone can use,
Mm-hmm.
assuming that you have, like, the particular thing. So, like, if you're outside of the Feywild, you could teleport here because you know where it exists. But, like, while you're in the Feywild, this seems to be a Stargate. You push the buttons, it opens up a path to another teleportation circle in the Feywild.
Have we seen anything that looks like this?
No.
Didn't think so. Well, there's no reason to really just push random buttons.
Do we
Right.
actually
No.
see big viney tentacles coming up over the wall?
Yeah, those are big vines. So
Okay.
basically, over here, you see these over here? These
Yeah.
ones? So this right here is I think that is, one of these towers is busted and, like, it's up in the air. So the tower is still up, but, like, it's broken. The middle part's gone, and it's held up by beanstalks. These are beanstalks.
Okay.
Like Jack and the Beanstalk
Yeah.
beanstalk.
Okay.
And let me go ahead and do this. So just so you can see all the beanstalks. And this is a tower, and there's a tower right here as well. Although this one on the east side here, this one is elevated above the ground.
So investigate the closer tower first.
Yeah, I'm assuming this one is like a guard tower of some kind. It'd be nice to make sure that it's clear before we move beyond the river.
Okay. So as you go up, the door is unlocked, and if you go, you can go inside if you wish.
I lost my piece. Sorry. Thank you.
Make sure you click
Okay,
yourself to ignore.
Yeah, I need to do that. Oh, yes.
Me
Are
a
you guys actually going inside?
shrubbery?
This is a room of shrubbery, apparently.
Oak trees fill much of the interior of this tower. Rays of light cut through the canopy, illuminating A marble pedestal that stands at ground level, swathed in tree roots. A hulking lion, seemingly made out of iron, stands at the pedestal, flicking its tail in irritation. You can call us Envy, it says. And then,
Belshan looks extremely happy to see this lion.
then it says, it declares, it tells you to kneel. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure that I got the right line. I got the right one here. Yes, it demands your obseisance and commands you to kneel before it.
Leonardo will kneel. What is the name of this tree?
Tree.
He said it was a lion.
It's a large
yeah.
iron statue made in the shape of a lion.
I
Calls
completely missed that.
It says you may call us Envy.
Envy, thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, Envy.
Are you
Mrs.
kneeling?
Fitzbiggins does not kneel
Yeah.
to Envy.
Leonardo will kneel.
Okay.
I see no reason to kneel to this creature.
So who does not kneel?
I guess just me.
Turvum is not kneeling because he's. I'm not sure I should kneel to Envy, to
Yeah,
something named Envy.
Sounds like a bad idea.
So the lion roars and says, "The two of you have not shown me proper respect. Begone from my domain. The two of you who have may enter, and we shall." We shall have a discussion if you wish.
I tell
And
him
he's-
that I would kneel before Zybilna once she's freed, as she is the rightful queen of this palace.
And he says, and he flicks his tail at you and says, "Begone."
Okay, I'd be gone.
We're just waiting outside.
Okay. Envy says, "What can you tell us about the state of the castle?" He goes, "We and our counterpart were created as a pair to protect the gardens from intruders in Zybilna's absence. Our presence here means that our mistress is gone. Where? We do not know. I do know that he goes,
As near we can tell is she's lost in time. At least so the story goes.
We do have the tool to rescue her, but we need to find her first.
He says, "Very well. The palace shall receive visitors even in Zybilna's absence. Guests are to remain in the garden pavilion until Zybilna deigns to grant them an audience. It is not our responsibility to protect visitors. Yes, if you have any questions going forward, you may come back, and we will do our best to answer them." And he bows, and he dismisses you because you have nothing that he is interested in hearing about right now.
I hate that guy. But he shows us the proper respect.
Yeah, Belshan doesn't say anything until he's out of earshot. At least probably about 40, 50 feet away before he says, "Yeah, that's that creature's full of himself for sure."
That wasn't as productive as I had hoped.
But
Likewise.
at least we know that there is a second one, and apparently they are here to protect the garden.
So,
Stands to reason
And
that he
Zybilna's
might be
absence.
staying inside the other
so this
The other
tower, yeah,
watchtower.
yeah, and this tower over here, you can't. I'll go ahead and uncover it so you can kind of see, because there's not. It's just forest in there again, but you can see that this one is up high.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any ground
So
level
this is-
doors
this
for
is-
that.
This is so this up here is 20 feet above the ground level, and this is another 10 feet above that.
We could just fly up there if we wanted to check out that second tower. But I think we should... like, this bridge doesn't have a marker on it, which tells me it's not important, but I think securing that bridge is a good idea. Just to make sure, like, we don't go over it and there's, like, a troll living under it. I answered my riddles 3 or some stupid bullshit. You know, whatever. We're in the Feywild.
I mean,
then
riddles
P
3 does seem to be the order of the day.
Do we-
Yeah.
Do we wanna,
P5 looks like a
look these
water
things?
wheel, and then P6 looks like a big tree stump.
So do you want to start at P5 and just work our way up?
Well, I was
Well,
going to start at the bridge and work our way west. From
Yeah, there's
there.
there's nothing. It's just a bridge.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bridge is just a bridge, Brickroad.
But confirming that was a good idea.
The Bremic.
So as you approach P5, a marble fountain rises from a plinth on the bank of the stream, overflowing with time-frozen water that spills from the mouth of sculpted animals. The frozen spray surrounding the fountain creates rainbows in the air around it. Leonardo, because you've got the stupid detect magic eyeballs, your detect
Welcome.
magic eyes reveal an aura of transmutation magic around the fountain.
Excuse me.
I will mention that.
The magic itself still seems active, even though the waters are frozen.
I mean, Raz, the player, knows that Time Stop is a transmutation because I built a character around transmutation spells.
Are you going around and using the gem to unfreeze the stuff that was described as being, because there's multiple things that have been frozen in time?
No, he's not. Or Leonardo is not doing that because there's simply too much of it.
Yeah, like you don't want to unfreeze pixies and things because that might just cause trouble down the road. But this fountain is a different story. We might want to consider unfreezing the fountain.
Leonardo finds that to be a reasonable idea and will tap the jeweled horn against the fountain.
Nothing happens.
Then he'll try the water.
Nothing happens.
This thing isn't a living thing, so maybe it'll only affect living things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Leonardo will run his hand through the water.
You can run your hand through it's like putting your hand through like something the consistency of like a soft dough.
Ugh.
Yeah, that feels
like
weird.
Play-Doh, like
Okay.
kind of like really thin Play-Doh.
What he won't do is drink the water. Like he'll just kind of like tap at it with his hand and say, just shrug.
Anybody want to drink the water?
No,
No.
if it has the consistency
No.
of dough, you wouldn't drink it. You'd have to chew it.
So do we head across the bridge then?
Yeah, and check out. I mean, we'd cross this stone bridge here and then double back to. Well, I guess P7 would be next then.
Yeah.
Would
P7?
Leonardo drink the water? I mean, so far the effects here have been benevolent. Like the fruit was benevolent.
Do what you want, Leonardo.
I think he would consider it, but let me just roll a dice. Really, it's just
Coin flip.
no, he would not. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're going
no.
to P7 next?
Yeah, cross
So as
the
you're-
bridge here.
Oh, we gotta go
Spider
across
garden.
this bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. As you approach P7, you see a rose garden. This fragrant rose garden is bordered by a bronze fence. The roses come in a variety of colors, with a few white and black specimens among them. Glistening spider webs cover the rose bushes.
Well, as long as there's not any giant alien spiders there, I'm apt to leave them alone.
Dole is not about any spiders right now. Like I can't say from whether or not Belshan's okay with spiders, but
You didn't know it was a horror game, did you?
Well, detect magic.
use your special eyes.
You see the faint glow at the center of, you see a single rose bush glowing with magic in the center of the rose garden.
Well, that's strange. Only the center is magical. The roses themselves seem to be.
The roses are growing around this statue here.
Oh, I thought the whole thing was.
No, it's just a single rose bush growing around the statue.
Okay. Then the rose bush appears to be enchanted in some way. Well, what school of magic?
Let me see.
I said enchanted, but then I realized enchantment is a school of magic. So
What is that? Oh gosh, I can't say that. I can't ask that question. I'll say conjuration because that's what I think that spell is off the top of my head. And that sounds correct to me.
I'm going to go ahead and use Divine Sense. Basically, until the end of my next turn, I can sense anything affected by the Hollow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. Is there anything like kind of weird?
No, you see none of those or sense none of those.
Okay. I had to use it at least once.
Are you guys going to check out the Rose Garden, or are you going to bypass it?
I'm afraid if we
now.
step into the Rose Garden, we'll get jumped by 100 spiders.
Yeah.
I think I want to check out
Definitely.
P6 first, and then we can reconsider P7.
I
yeah, the
concur.
wibs are pretty good. Tell that that's probably not great.
A gleaming great axe is embedded in a withered stump near a bend in the stream.
That's a great
A
axe?
great axe, not a wood axe?
A gleaming great axe.
Because it's kind of drawn like a hatchet.
Yeah, it looks like a hatchet.
This is Turvum's
So yeah,
territory.
but it's not an axe used for wood cutting. It's an actual like battle like.
It's an actual
your
great
head off,
axe.
kind of?
Yeah, it's a two-handed great axe.
I want to examine it.
It's stuck in the stump, and it is very magical, by the way.
Any
For
engravings
Leonardo.
or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Leonardo will say, "It is enchanted. Would this help you?"
I'm more of the axe and board kind of paladin, but
Good to have options. Leonardo will give it a tug.
What's your strength score?
10.
Oh yeah, no, it's stuck fast.
Ugh. This isn't exactly my wheelhouse.
seeing Leonardo didn't get zapped by divine Feywild magics, I will make the attempt at it.
Yeah,
What's your-
Leonardo is definitely the trap springer, so you know go
I'll
ham.
put guidance on to give it.
What's your strength score?
20.
20. Okay, you meet the requirements. The axe comes free.
Ugh.
Oh. Congratulations on your new axe.
Yep, you have a. You guys want to take a short rest to identify it? I'll let you do that. We'll just hand wave that off.
Sure.
Sure.
This is what you got, Turvum.
Oh boy.
It's in the spoiler chat.
What actually is a woodcutter's axe?
Plus one axe, it deals an extra 2d6 against plant or wooden objects and creatures that are either plants or made out of wood.
It's funny.
That's really good.
Alright.
That could be helpful.
Yeah, like it would have been really helpful all those times he busted down doors and broke boxes, which is kind of funny to me. Like here we are at the 11th hour.
I honestly didn't bust down that many things. I busted down the one cage with a smite because I really wanted to open the lock.
Hey, you
All
guys,
right.
what do you think are the odds that we've gotten all the good things and that's it? We should just stop.
Well, I know we threw off the Eldritch staff or whatever it was. So
No, I mean here.
That's
So
gone.
like we've skipped the 2 traps. What do you think the odds are of that?
Oh no, there's obviously more nonsense coming.
Should we throw the axe into the pond and see if like we get a better one?
Get a golden axe.
Yeah.
Was this axe yours? Or was
Yeah,
this one yours?
I don't know. We've only had it for 5 seconds.
Well, I threw the big one in, but I want one just a little bit, for one hand because I'm really strong, but it's still a bit unwieldy to try and use this woodcutter's axe with one hand.
Can you shrink it down a bit?
Two-handed axe. So all right. So where to next?
Well, I mean, if the roses decide to attack us,
I'm not opposed to checking these out again. until it's like fool me once, right? Like,
Okay. So again, there are magical roses in the center of this garden.
I'll leave it to Turvum if he wants to go pluck one, because if he goes in there and it's a trap, he's going to have to put his new axe to work.
I need to add that axe to my inventory, actually. Hang on a second.
how tall is this fence?
Treble's
Uh,
book on
it's
D&D
a-
Beyond.
It's not a. It's what? What, McDohl?
I was just gonna say, if Treble's bought this book on D&D Beyond, you should be able to just search for it in the inventory
Yes,
management.
I did. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to look at the items.
Fair enough.
It's a copper kind of. It's a fence, but like it's like a wrought iron kind of fence made out of. I think they said copper. So it's like bars. It's not like a slat fence. You can see through it.
Is
No, but I
there
mean, how tall
and
is
it's
it? Like, can we jump
Taller
over
than
it?
you, but not by much.
is there like a gate in?
Yeah, there's a gate right here.
I mean,
I'll back you up.
all right, I'll go in. Might as well be dumb.
So when you enter, 3 ettercaps pop up, and they, like, the best way to describe ettercaps, if you've never seen one, are, they got like spider faces, but like ogre bodies, and they're medium sized, and they're threatening you. They're like doing like a threatening posture, like get out of my. Like, you ever seen a spider like raise its front legs like to try and scare off another like predator or whatever? They're
No,
doing
but I've
Yeah.
never
Hate
been to
that.
Australia.
Hate that.
They're not attacking you, but they're trying to scare you off.
Is it working?
Scare you out of their territory.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I mean, they're not actually spiders, McDohl.
I think we could win, but I don't know if Turvum cares enough about the middle.
If we learn something about these flowers, it might be worth pushing into there. Otherwise, because as far as we know, nothing in this garden is going to help us with Zybilna.
Can those creatures communicate in any way? Can we ask them about Zybilna?
Are they animals?
I don't remember if ettercaps actually.
They're monstrosities, so probably not.
Yeah, they're not beasts, so I can't talk to them.
Okay.
No, they're just they're standing there. There's 3 of them. And they're threatening you.
Yeah, happy to leave.
Yeah, I
that
don't
alone.
like that.
Yeah.
Hate that. Hate that. No, thank you.
So I think we board the lily pad and fly up to this door outside of P10. Then
So if y'all do that, I'll
Do we
read
want to
over.
investigate this lake before we do?
I'll read over P8 as you fly over it.
yeah, it's fine.
That works. Yeah. Oh, that's not me. I'm sorry.
As you fly over this pond, willow trees encircle it. Lily pads dot, not like lily pads like you got, but like lily pads dot the mirror-like surface of this water, and hungry dragonflies dart about, feeding on motionless fireflies that form an unmoving cloud above the still water.
Easiest meal ever.
So the moving dragonflies are able to eat the frozen in time.
So basically, the gist of what's going on here, and I think you guys would figure this. Anything that was here when the time bomb went off, frozen, and other things have come in after the fact, and kind of, taken up residence.
Sure.
Mhm.
So are you guys going to stop at the pond and investigate, or are you just going to go on to
Not
the
really
next?
much reason to.
Unless we see anything as we're flying over it.
All you see is this pond is unnaturally reflective,
It's just a mirror surface.
just a mirror sheen.
Some of the creatures are time bombed and others are not.
Right.
Leonardo will draw it. I mean, it's slow movement, so.
I'm a bit disappointed the other caps were not time bombed.
Right.
I'm assuming they were installed here by either the Coven or the League of Malevolence.
Well,
Yeah.
the dragonflies.
No,
No,
the
the
Ettercaps.
Ettercaps.
Oh, I mean, ettercaps are basically wild animals, so They could
So-
have just come up.
Is this like the top of a wall walk here?
Yeah, it's
Does
a wall.
it continue
So
along out here in the darkness?
Yes, there is a door. Where is it? You see a door here, and you can see down onto this. I didn't mean to do so. You don't see this, but
That's fine.
So
that's what you
we've
can
had to ascend about 30 feet to get up onto this wall walk, and then
right,
this
correct, is about 10 feet below where you're at, and,
Okay.
and it's 20 feet above the floor.
It's just some stairs.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually, I
20
got
feet
that.
of
I
stairs,
have that
actually.
backwards. We'll say that you saw this as you're flying up, but this is 10 feet. So this is 10 feet above the floor. So this is 10 feet up. This is 20 feet up.
Okay.
I have it
Okay.
backwards.
Okay. Cool beans.
It's functionally the same, but like, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Are you going to go into the
Check the door,
tower
see
here?
if it's open,
It's
Sure.
open.
unlocked. Yeah.
There's a
open it up
bronze plaque above the door bearing the word Wrath in common.
Oh,
Oh
good.
boy.
Should we go in
tower-
and do this
the
again if
tower-
you guys aren't going to kneel?
The tower itself is like 30 feet tall.
Now that I know their purpose, I'm a lot more likely to kneel. It's just that, the name Envy gave me pause as to,
Understandable.
I mean, I don't kneel to wrath either. I'm a complex
let 'em-
organism. I do not bow to base emotions like that.
Belshan walks in.
Perhaps you should wait outside.
That's fine. Go kneel to your new wrath god.
This tower is filled with hawthorn. At the heart of the thicket, a heart, like a heart, as in like a deer, seemingly made from iron, stands on a marble pedestal, pawing at the ground angrily. Steam surrounds, strewn around the pedestal are a dozen empty baskets. We are Wrath, says the Iron Heart. And just like the other one, he commands you to kneel and show respect.
Leonardo will kneel.
I will kneel.
All right. He asks you why you're here. What do you need to know from it? The conversation goes very similarly to the previous one, with the additional thing. Like, from both conversations, you've kind of gotten the idea that Envy and Wrath dislike each other greatly. Like, they are their own mortal enemies, but something is preventing them from, like, duking it out.
We are here to rescue Zydolna.
And he says, well, you basically get the same gist, is that unless you have some questions that you need answered, be gone from his presence. It's not his role is to guard the garden until Zybilna comes back. It is not their guard. It is not their job to ensure the safety of guests.
These guys suck.
Leonardo will leave,
no, I-
and he'll tell Mrs. Fitzbiggins, yeah, that was a waste of time.
I'm not sure how much we would gain actually asking about the Hourglass Coven.
Regrettable. What?
Before you go, Wrath tells you, asks if you have searched every part of the garden.
We've, yes and no. We've given cursory glances. We checked many parts of the garden, but only checked cursory glances at the rose area and the lake.
He goes, well, when you find something you need information on, you may come back and inquire. We may deign to answer questions.
What about the
Leonardo-
water wheel at
He asked-
P5? What is the purpose of the water wheel at P5?
Yeah, Leonardo wants to ask that.
He tells you it's the Fountain of Awakening. It is for the small animals who guard, who reside in the garden.
What sense does Leonardo get if something that is already self-aware consumes that?
Are you asking him?
No, Leonardo is considering this question himself.
You wouldn't know.
There's
You-
no relevant arcana or whatever.
Yeah. Do you know what an awaken spell is? Awaken on your spell list?
I don't think it is. This would be a druid question.
Do your druids outside?
Yeah. Leonardo will leave and ask Mrs. Fitzbiggin, what happens if you cast Awaken on something that is already sentient?
Do I know the answer to that question?
I don't think it says in the spell description, so I guess if your best guess is nothing. But you also know that this isn't an awakened spell as cast by a druid. This is fey bullshit.
Yeah, so I would caution
well-
against it because the less fey bullshit in my life, the better.
For all you know, it could turn you into a giant cow.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Like, okay, then let's avoid it.
It could give you superpowers for the next 24 hours. It could turn your hair green.
Let's put it this way. Anything good that it does is going to come at a cost because we're in the Feywild.
Reasonable.
I mean, so far we've gotten quite a bit of good for not that much cost. Unless I suddenly have indigestion after these temp hit points go away.
Yeah,
Immediately shit your pants.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, after 10 minutes, those 2 apples you guys had, they rotted away into nothing.
fine.
You no longer have them. The effects that the other 2 had are still in effect, though.
Oh darn. That's a bummer.
Do you guys have anything else for the Lion King in there?
No, the Lion King's over here.
I thought they were both lions.
No, this one's
No.
a deer.
a deer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, I
bad.
see.
Peep
wait,
the
that guy-
corners of the map.
And that guy.
All right, so do you have anything else for Bambi's dad over here?
That is pretty Bambi's dad, yeah. No, I ain't got anything.
I'd ask what the
Um,
purpose of the reflective pool is.
He goes, "Have you been to the?" He goes. He tells you it's there to store. It's there as storage. Is what he tells you.
Hmm.
Is it okay if I borrow this axe?
And he basically you get the answer that it's not Zabilna's axe, therefore he does not care.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
I think we should do due diligence and check out P8 just because.
Yeah, if it's storage, there might be. I don't know. There might be people stored there. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
we call those people drowned.
No, I mean like it might not be. It might not be water, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
If you're frozen in time, would you actually drown? If submerged?
Probably not.
Don't know how that works.
I mean, all of your bodily orifices would seek an equilibrium level of water, so once time started acting upon you again, you would be in grave danger instantly.
Yes.
Are we going to the door, or are we gonna just lily pad back down?
Maybe lily pad back down.
All right. So again, willow trees encircle a reflective pond.
Belshan's gonna lean over and peer down inside of the pond.
What is that for? It's still just you. You see your reflection.
Detect
Despite
magic.
everything, it's still you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Despite everything, it's still you.
Detect magic.
The water is faintly magical. It's too diffused to tell you a school.
Leonardo will put his hand in part the water.
So as you touch the water, it still has the same doughy consistency as the fountain did. But when you pull it back out, again, I guess I'm assuming in disgust because water having a doughy consistency is weird.
Yeah.
A delicate hand made of water, black as winter's night, silently breaks the water surface. The hand is clutching a crown made of silver needles. Below the hand, under the surface, a school of shimmering black fish take on a vaguely humanoid form.
Leonardo will introduce himself. Greetings. Who might you be?
It doesn't answer. Because it's a school of fish in a hand.
Oh, I was hoping it would like spell something out.
I ask, You guys are gonna make me talk to fish, aren't you?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
All right, talk to the fish.
What's the exact wording of that feature?
It's real dumb. Let me pull it up here.
Brickroad, you're the one who chose to play a druid.
Where's the...
Druids are real good, but they're real dumb. Like all the nature classes in 5th edition are kind of dumb.
Does it look
I
like
learned to speak, read, and write Sylvan,
Uh-huh.
and beasts can understand my speech, and I gain the ability to decipher their noises and motions.
I'm going to say... Okay, this is how I'm going to do this, because you actually have a spell. You recognize this as not an animal.
Okay.
It is a fey spirit. So
is it offering the crown?
nobody's asked it anything
It's
in
a
a
fey
language it
spirit.
understands.
Ask in
Yeah.
Sylvan, then speak to it.
Okay, what do you ask it?
Well, introduce myself, and ask it to introduce itself.
It doesn't say anything. It doesn't have a mouth, but it bobs its hand at you.
So it can understand me?
Yes.
So
Seems so.
splash once for yes and twice for no. Do you understand me?
It's like a fish splashes once and some doughy water goes in your face.
All right. We we can play 20 questions with the absurd pond. Who wants to ask something?
As you say this, the crown it goes to the edge of the water and offers you up the crown.
Offers me the crown.
Yes.
Mrs. Fitzbiggins stands there, crosses her arms, and looks very, very unhappy.
And it's a crown of silver needles?
Yes.
Of course, the biggest thing about these rules is that when you're offered a gift, you have to... There's reciprocity, right?
Yep.
Well, there's nothing saying I have to accept a gift, is there? It's if I accept the gift, I have to return one. I have these rules written down. Let me go back to them here and double check.
After a minute, like of you crossing your fingers, the hand goes away from you and goes back to Leonardo and holds the crown up to Leonardo.
I don't know what I would offer in return.
Your drawing of the pond.
It starts slapping the water and offers you the crown.
Okay, Leonardo will take the crown, and then he will tear a picture of the pond out of a sketchbook and offer it to.
When you
the
take it,
hand.
it's gone. When you take the crown, the hand slides back into the water before you have a chance to do anything else.
Well, the
Like,
intent was
you
there.
see you see like a middle finger going down as you go. But
Wow. That's rude.
you guys were rude to the hand.
What?
That wasn't...
Mrs. Fitzbiggins wins you like how to win allies and friends wherever you go by Mrs. Fitzbiggins.
Listen,
Step 1, and it's just a picture of her frowning.
I entered this campaign not wanting to get involved in Fey bullshit.
All right.
This
what
crown
the
is made out of like silver needles, and it is poking your hands. It's not enough to cause any damage. It's just very uncomfortable to hold.
What does it do?
You're always spending an hour figuring it out.
Hold on. So as you hold it up and to take a good look at it, in a language that you understand of your choice, so like whatever language you want to hear this in, you hear the beginning of whenever, the end of ever after, the start of an age, the finale of every moment, the first in history.
I only got part of that. Say it again.
So I will paste this in the spoiler chat. And I'm using spoiler chat because, you guys can't see Flumph chat. I'm sorry. You're not good enough. But there you go. The beginning of whenever, the end of ever after, the start of an age, the finale of every moment.
Did anybody else immediately solve this puzzle?
No.
Okay, I'll give you guys a minute.
Brickroad, I'm not puzzles. You know this. Remember how long it took me to finish Mist, right?
This
Like,
isn't
you were
Mist.
there.
This isn't
Okay,
Mist. This
so-
is Professor
so-
Layton.
So we give this to Wrath.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So explain to me how you got this.
Because
The
the first the beginning of the word whenever is W, the end of ever after is R, etc.
The start of an age, the finale of a moment, the first in history. It spells out the word wrath.
All right.
Oh, yeah. No.
See, this is why you can't take Brickroad to a puzzle party.
I gave everybody else the opportunity to solve it. I
No.
wasn't gonna blurt it out.
I immediately solved it too. Yeah.
So
It's Razanir and Brickroad, of course.
I have a personal. If I solve the puzzle immediately, I give all the other players the chance to work it out if they want.
you're right. So you have a crown that has indicated that you have to give it to Wrath.
Let's do that.
I wonder if there's something in the for
You can
the.
envy then.
It's probably in the flower
I
garden.
bet it
Yeah,
could
It's
be
probably
here.
in the rose
Yeah.
bush.
What can be?
If there's something that we have to return to Envy.
Well, let's give the crown to Wrath first.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
It's 'cause
Let's
the-
see if
yeah.
let's see if that does anything.
Or we could. I almost want to check out the rose garden first to see if there's something to give to Envy, and wondering if it'd be best to give something to them at the same time.
We can do that.
Sure. I grabbed Turvum, I'm sorry. Or I grabbed Belshan.
Make me a group intimidation check.
Oh no. Against these Ettercaps?
Yeah, against these Ettercaps.
The problem is, oh my god.
Ooh,
The problem
okay.
is Mrs. Fitzbiggins is incredibly intimidating, but she doesn't look that intimidating because she's a rabbit with a twitchy nose.
This-
25.
Is Are we talking charisma intimidation or strength intimidation?
I'll let you roll either.
I rolled a 1, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, thanks. You canceled out my 20.
That does turn into a 3, however.
Oh, that's a 25. How about that?
Yeah, high five. High five.
Well, if it's strength intimidation, that is a
What? There you go.
17.
17. So you have 3 very intimidating let me see, hold on. I'm gonna make 3 checks, and if you beat them, yeah,
So
you
is-
beat the first one, you beat the second one. 17. Yeah, no, you guys beat all 3. Basically, we were gonna do opposing intimidation checks. The Ettercaps flee from you.
Good. They
He
know
goes
it's-
for
'Cause
dominance.
They don't want none of this.
Mrs. Fitzbiggins is intimidating, but just not to creatures. They don't know how to interpret her crossed arms and her stern glance.
Yeah.
Leonardo is very intimidating. I keep grabbing Belshan for some reason.
And they
Yeah, because
The
you
Etter-
want to be green.
I
You
want to be
can't.
green. Yeah.
the Ettercaps flee back this way, up and over this wall, and down into the mist below.
Okay. My
Um,
toes are getting hella licked right now.
Okay.
Leonardo will point out what is magical.
So the roses. So there are 5 chromatic roses. I need 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a black, a blue, a green, a red, and a white rose. So there's 5 different roses.
I think I get this one, and I think what we have to do is we have to get the green one.
All the roses are magical, and the statue underneath it is magical.
The statue is of a person?
Statue is of a satyr.
A satyr,
and
like
it
playing a pan
is
flute.
transmutation magic. So the roses are conjuration magic, and the statue is.
You think this might be an actual person who's trapped in the statue?
One of
So-
the guys in the pavilion was a living statue that came here to seek being restored, was he not?
Yes. The roses themselves, the black one is dripping acid, the blue one is crackling with lightning, the green one is exuding a green gas, the red one is wreathed in fire, and the white one is covered in frost.
We haven't seen any dragons in here, anything like dragon stuff, have we?
Well, there was that one baby green dragon you attacked, and
It went home. We sent it home.
So, McDohl, you were thinking of bestowing the green rose to Envy.
Yeah.
Handling
I
these
see.
roses looks dangerous, does it not?
Because I'm dumb and galaxy brain like that.
I doubt these roses are for envy, though. I bet there's something else associated with
Is
envy. For...
the statue of the Seder is transmutation? You said.
yeah.
Does it look like a statue or does it look like a person frozen?
Let me see how it describes it.
I'm wondering if she used a gem on it. Just
That's where I'm going with this, yeah.
It's a satyr playing a pan flute, is what it is.
I will tap it with the gem.
Nothing
The
happens.
horn.
I'm going to attempt to cast Dispel Magic on the statue. If he was petrified by some kind of spell, I might have a chance to...
It
reverse
doesn't work, but you get the sense that it tried to work. If that makes sense.
Well, trying is all that you can ask.
Don't you get to roll against something?
I do if the DM allows it.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's really
Well, Dispel Magic
Hard.
specifically works against spells.
Right.
So if it's not a,
might not be a spell.
It might not be a spell. It might be some other kind of magical effect. Otherwise, everybody in D&D would just be dispelling each other's +1 swords all the time.
No. What I'm saying is, if I'm trying to interpret his clue of the magic tried to work. I guess I'm unclear about that.
I cast the spell and used the slot, and the guy's still a statue, is what happened.
Oh no,
Right.
but I mean, when Treble said, "Oh, the magic tried to work," I just didn't know what that meant.
Right. He's under the effects of a magic. Brickroad got it right. He's under the effects of a magical effect, but it's not a spell.
Okay.
Brickroad has played this game before,
Dispel Magic is worded very specifically.
so
However, it does say in the animated armor stat block that casting Dispel Magic can render them unconscious.
for 1 minute, yes, it
Which
can.
I also happen to know, but it felt like a bad thing to do in that fight.
There was like so many of them, and they were all shit.
Right? Punching them
anyway,
with a stone man was a
Are you
better
going to do anything with the roses?
I don't think we should mess with the roses. I don't know. I think
No.
You wanted to take the green one, right?
Oh yeah, no, I was like that was me trying to think past the puzzle and
he
You know
said
what I
that
mean?
Yeah, he said that before Treble described it as exuding poison gas.
Right.
This is almost as meant to be. It might provide a boon or something if we take it, or perhaps just poison us. But
yeah.
but I would
No,
like
I
to know
think-
at least a
I
little bit
think
more. I think we should give the crown back to Wrath now, and then
Yeah.
see and ask him about the Rose Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. You go back to Wrath's Tower.
We've already determined that this lead pad makes sounds like a Jetsons car, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. That was perfect. So good.
Like it.
Okay. Anyway, when you go in there, the lion, the Wrath again demands that you kneel. And shake
Leonardo will kneel and then present the crown and say, "Is this yours?"
he tells you. First of all, he thanks you for being so polite. And when you ask him about the crown of needles, he tells you the following. Zabilna created the crown as a key that guests can use to reach certain areas of the palace in her absence. The crown has two forms, one made of silver needles and the other of golden roses. To transform the crown of needles into its gold form, it must be placed on the brow of the correct iron guardian. Which of us, Envy or Wrath, is the correct guardian? We cannot say. Ooh. Placing the crown on the incorrect guardian banishes the guardian to its demiplane along with the crown. Once the crown is transformed into its gold form, either guardian can wear it without being banished. certain doors inside the palace become locked or unlocked depending on which guardian wears the golden crown.
Well, we're gonna put it on Wrath.
Okay? And it turns into a gold roses because you solved the puzzle. Good job.
Hooray!
Yay!
That's an old puzzle. That's a moldy oldie.
Is it?
Yes.
It's the first time I'd ever seen a puzzle in that manner, so it took me a while to. Well, when he described actually what the solution is, like, oh,
The standard
Yeah, no, that's
verse
right.
is something like, "What's the beginning of eternity, the end of time and space, the beginning of the end, and the end of every place." That's how I learned it.
right.
And the answer is the letter E. It's the same puzzle, just they wrote a different verse.
Sure.
Yeah.
Leonardo will ask, which doors did doing this open?
He doesn't know what doors are linked to the crown.
Oh, I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
I guess we leave it there.
And
guess
that's a good spot. Like, you guys solved this, so hopefully
I didn't mean literally leave it there. I meant leave the crown
it's
there.
time.
But you're right.
Yeah.
I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, look at that.
So you guys basically did everything outdoors. So tomorrow, hopefully, we can get through the lower and upper parts of the Palace of Heart Desire and end this off. So
Oh boy,
thank you.
tomorrow! Yay!
Tomorrow, next Sunday. Sorry.
Ours a federal holiday, so I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not
you
working tomorrow.
You want to play again tomorrow? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I have Zelda to play tomorrow.
At least it's not Spirit Tracks,
And-
right?
yes. That's the spirit tracks are behind us.
They can't hurt you anymore, Brickroad.
I
Is
have
this-
to go figure out how to play Aerith in 7 Remake.
Is
He's-
this Zelda
you're
2 that I should be making fun of Brickroad for?
Yes, you definitely need to make fun of me. Although I completed it in 2 sittings. That's not bad. Thanks
Not
for
a
running
speed
Treble.
run. All right. Hopefully, you
yeah,
guys are still having fun, and hopefully,
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm having a blast.
I know that you didn't design the puzzle, so
Right. No. That is a pretty bad puzzle. It's about on par with like the puzzles they listed in the back of what was that book? The Candlekeep Mysteries.
yeah. The flip side of it is
So,
if none of the
well-
players know the solution to the puzzle, like what do? They just mess up the
Right,
crown, I guess.
You
that's
have
a
to have to make the puzzle simple enough that people can get it.
Right.
You beef the
Because
crown.
I've definitely played with people who would sit there and puzzle this out for probably at least 5 minutes.
So to
Mm.
be fair, there's a door here that I don't know if I told you it's not locked.
Yeah, we just hadn't gone around to going in yet.
You hadn't got it, so it's not locked, so you can still get in. And they have given you 3 opportunities to get some random flying machine in this campaign.
Well,
Yeah,
Like
we
all
broke
the
one.
hags, and you
They have an
still
ornithopter, yeah.
threw one off a cliff, turned one back into a unicorn, and kept the third.
All right, well, thanks for running. We'll finish this
To be
up.
fair, we
next
would have
Sunday.
had the other one, but if Leonardo knew that we were going to kill the hag that turn,
I had no other actions. My other choice was to run up and stab her with a dagger.
Say goodbye, McDohl.
That's not it.
Goodbye, McDohl.
Goodbye, McDohl.